As I have aged, I have discovered some undiscovered, unexplored threads, puzzle pieces, and shards of broken dreams that have morphed together into a recognizable mosaic of purpose. My soul, my shine, my expression of God, my relationship with the world and time itself has been confirmed through maintaining a connection with my dead son, Kelly James. I have been a vessel in whole for 34 years and a vessel in repair for 34 years, turning 68 years old. Art of Kintsugi works on the soul as well as pottery. When our heart is broken, we repair and we repurpose it. Love is the gold. Love is the answer. My son died. He did not disappear. He recently shared some insights into life that I dare to share. If the number 17 resonates with you at all, you are not alone. This is the Locust Factor. These are my son's words as given to me when we connect.
These are his words.
September 2022. My dad has been starting to recognize the serendipities and synchronicities that he seemingly attracts into his life. René Descartes stated in one of his writings, "Es cogito ergo sum," I think therefore I am. In reality, we create our reality by being witness to it. This is a quantum truth. You draw people and events into your life without your conscious awareness. It is a sort of kinetic magnetism and blending of the photoelectric energies we all radiate. When one starts to become aware of this phenomenon, it can increase the occurrences of interactions that are not necessarily choreographed. What you dream of, think of the most, read about, watch, listen to, and engage in, updates your operating system with the most current relevant data that surrounds your interaction with the world. This is only possible because of the neuroplasticity in the cortex of the brain. When you repeat something long enough with passion and intent, whether it's playing the violin or shouting racist chants, it becomes you. The notes of the violin flow from the maestro's fingers without conscious thought or direction. This is done in speeds making that is impossible to read notes from or use linear memory, as in playing chopsticks does when playing the piano. Brain-to-muscle neuron communications is lightning fast, comparable to 268 miles per hour. A violinist can play up to 15 notes a second, impossible to conjugate. The maestro plays the violin, body, mind, soul, and spirit. When we immerse ourselves into something that we are drawn to, our body, mind, soul, and spirit will synergize with, in collaboration, to assume responsibility for the new massive download. This creates new neural pathways. This is the resilience factor, which is constantly changing and upgrading per sensory input. When something confronts our ignorance, a survival prescription is written in the newborn synapses in the amazing Broca area of the brain with a solution. This happens between living procreational offspring with their caretaker through the magic of mirror neurons. Imprinting happens. Survival tools are ingrained by being witness to them. Like the quantum physics entanglement theory, which illustrates that a photon's journey can be altered by just witnessing it. We change our future by witnessing it. That is what being present is all about. When we speak, express, write, or engage in things with passion, it becomes a kinetic force. It becomes a focus with potential energy. It gains mass. The focus becomes us. This is thought manifesting as physical mass. We become the focus and create our reality. Every gold medal Olympiad knows this to be true, every Buddhist monk, and every Nazi soldier as well. An ideology practiced good or bad, coupled with a heightened sense of awareness and repetition, you create the anxious, flexible fabric of a generating tomorrow. This is my attempt to explain the connection that I still have with my dad, even though I died over 3 decades ago. I experienced physical death following a 2-year battle with a malignant brain tumor at age 9, and we were gifted the time to set the stage for the next phase in our relationship. Dad alive, his son dead. This is what most of your world perceived following my death. A broken father with a box of ashes. Everyone, even my dad, had assumed the relationship had ended with my physical death. It did not. We have a legacy to fill, a contract to complete. In many ways, the story has just begun. This a humble attempt to explain a fulfillment process that was started long, long before I was born. We all have a purpose, no matter how humble or grand. It's our purpose, our unique story, our power of one. Our life is the unfoldment of raison d'être by design, a design we can refine and alter by just witnessing it. That is why being present is so important. Be your design. My dad could not move on as everyone had encouraged. He was mortally wounded by my death and mourned me with his life. He would not allow for me to become extinct. He did not want my name embossed on a cold granite slab as my only legacy. He wanted to have a continuing relationship. He beseeched me to send him a sign so that he would know that I had survived death. I sent him a lollapalooza of a sign. Our communications have not ended since. Probably not as much as he would like, but we are partners in a plan much bigger than he can even imagine. I come to him at night. In his slumber, we dance, we talk, we hug, and we laugh. There are never any tears. Tears are a biological function and serve no purpose in spirit. Spirit cannot cry. We can only bring joy, love, and enlightenment. When my dad wakes up, he does not remember our dance or our hugs. He just wakes up feeling extremely chipper and ready for the day. With his morning coffee, there are nuggets of wisdom swirling in his awakening consciousness that I had worked to embed in his gray matter. He writes it down as if it was his epiphany, LOL. This writing is a collection of wisdom that I provided for him most recently, as he continues to finish and polish his temple. He will soon begin his 5th 17-year cycle or septendecim, and I am helping him prepare for much greater things. As a living, breathing human being, we are simply spirit manifested into physical form on Earth. The biologic constant of Earth has its own metronome of continual procreation. The life force that enters a functional biological formation consists of densely packed photons from the sun. The sun provides the raw material of divine expression that needs physical expression. Spirit must enter the cells of a biologic to animate its raw, unrefined medium. Like water entering the thirsty acorn, the cells begin to replicate to provide a vehicle for the tree's spirit. Tree or troglodyte, photon-based spirit seeks a receptive carbon-based medium in which to thrive. For life to happen, for it to grow and to reproduce, you simply add water, that with access to an available food source, a photon source, light, and you have life, a form of consciousness with a definitive task. We are an infallible algorithm in perpetual expansion. Einstein's theory of relativity E=mc2 explains it better when expressed in its corollary as m equals sine EC2, where m, mass, equals E, energy, divided by C2, speed of light. For example, take two identical stopwatches, watch A and watch B, and independently weigh them on a micron scale and record their weights. They will be identical. If you wind one up, let's say watch A, and place it on a micro scale to weigh again, you will find that watch A has gained weight. The movement of hands is kinetic energy that has weight. The wound-up spring has potential energy that has weight. The friction of the meeting gears creates thermal energy which has weight. Energy has weight. Weight creates more mass. Watch A weighs more when it is wound up, hence more mass. We are watch A and God winds us up. That synergy is our narrative. It is our existence as a humanoid and a child of God. Our soul is E, that extra weight. It is the literal mass of energy that animates the flesh, creating our body, M. Our lives are that potential energy made flesh. C is the speed of photons emitted from the sun to the earth, which takes about 8.5 minutes. The photon's measurable back and forth trip we'll call C2, which is 17 minutes. We are the energy from the sun made flesh for a moment in time, and we live our life, die, and return to God in 17 minutes in God's time. If we live to be 119 years old, it is still only 17 minutes in God time. If an infant dies at birth, it is still only 17 minutes from conception to death. God time. That is the theory of relativity. We perceive our length of the time from a position at the hub looking at the the rim of the wheel, which appears to move much more slowly. By human observation, there is a great inequity in the spans of life that a person lives. From our spirit perspective, all lives are lived in 17 minutes. This is the locust factor. When we inhabit the flesh, our primal nature has us looking out instead of looking in, and it appears that individuals live shorter or longer spans of time, when in the reality of God's time they are the same. That is the theory of relativity as simple as I can make it. Our lifespans on Earth appear different from our location on the individual spokes of the wheel. Time literally becomes relative from the centrifugal force that created the heavens, a force that is still in perpetual expansion. God said, "Let there be light," when sperm and egg unite. And that light makes its 17-minute round trip from sun to Earth and back again. But for you, it seems like a lifetime, because it is. While on Earth, those 17 minutes are expressed in years by our observation of them relative to our location on the spoke. This is different for everyone, but all manifestations cycle in increments of 17, whether seconds, minutes, months, or years. For example, Jesus went missing for 17 years. Jesus lived 2 septendecims or 17 years periods when he announced it is finished. Job accomplished at age 34. The cicada or locust lives, dies, and is reborn in 17-year cycles. Job accomplished. Wherever we are on the wheel, it will be 17 minutes in God's time, but for us it could be seconds or an eternity. It only takes 17 seconds to make the perfect slice of toast. When you are starving and late for work, it appears to take 17 minutes. That is relativity. Photons are a wavelength of cosmic virginal vital energy, in an ineffable, inescapable routine and distribution of photons that, when released, come in a wave itself, expressed in a golden ratio that forms all matter. When the bifurcated expressional waves of 2 points meet, it creates an interference pattern that is life. We are the interference pattern between light and darkness. We are both. This governed distribution of light is accomplished by the rotation of the Earth on a tilted axis. This tilt that happened to our planet over 85 million years ago, which created the sine wave of all life on Earth as we know it today. There is nothing new under the sun. Everything is recycled in a volute of perpetual expansion and contraction. The universe itself breathes. A torus of polarity, of matter and antimatter, truly the heartbeat of God, is in every quark of known and unknown existence. As an illustration of perpetuity, take roughly a 12x1 strip of paper, twist it into the eternity symbol by taping the 2 ends together into a twisted ring. Just twist the strip once to inverse bottom and topside surfaces and tape both ends together. Voila, you have a Mobius strip. The surface of Mobius strip has 2 apparent sides to it, but if traversed with pencil mark on its surface, you realize there is only one side because you end up where you started, yet it is perceived as being separate surfaces, one above, one below. Quod est superius est sicut quod inferius, et quod inferius est sicut quod est superius. That which is above is like to that which is below, and that which is below is like to that which is above. Hermes. We are a cosmic ink blot, a photo and its negative, the shadow light, our expression, reflection, anima, animus, action, reaction, heaven, earth, body, spirit. We are yin, yang, incarnate, discarnate, tangible, intangible, blessed, damned, the living and the dead. We are unique in that we are the only species on our planet that has the intellectual capacity to grasp and make conscious choices with optimism. We are the only species that can generate hope. This can override almost all autonomic primal choices that urge dominance, that makes us human. As humanoids, we are cosmically structured by design that if all environmental factors are met to sustain, nourish, and protect our physical body, we could live to be 119 years of age. From birth to death, we are by design following a universal storyboard of fruition that consists of a series of transformations of 7 immutable stages or cycles throughout our life. A woman releases an egg every month. It travels for 17 days, and in that time, it must be successfully fertilized within the first 17 hours, or it dies. Stage 1 starts at conception when sperm unites with the receptive DNA within a woman's egg, and the miracle of DNA merging happens, and life begins in those first 17 hours. The number 17 is an untouchable integer, which is integral to the design of the universe, and is repeated in a sine wave of creation and expectation ad infinitum. The creation and formation of the human body starts from the moment the sperm and egg meet. This is stage of 1 of body, mind, soul, and spirit development. Thus begins the first 17-year septendecim of life. This is the locust factor. Stage 1. Birth to age 17. The body development transformation period. A fertilized egg will go through a series of 7 transformations from conception to birth. Starting with the initial primal zygote to the air-breathing infant, in 9 months a human child is born. This is ground zero for our first 17-year period of transformation that we can experience as a human being. This is the age that we grow to become a young adult. We are programmed from day one with an estimated 4 billion possible beats of the same physical heart. This approximates to about 119 human years. If unchallenged by death, the heart will eventually wear out. In these first 17 years, we go through as much physical transformation as we did in the womb, growing from a completely vulnerable baby to a full-grown physical adult mammal. At age 17, our bodies have reached the peak of that first amazing growth period that forms a fully capable, strong, resilient, and eager procreational mammal with a yet-to-be totally developed intellect. Stage 2, ages 17 to 34. The maturation transformation years. The brain as an organ is now fully developed by age 17. Akin to a brand new computer, it requires programming for individual needs and focus. Experience and environmental influences will determine choice-based programming, as well as apprising itself with up-to-date downloads from eager wisdom sourcing. The brain is a supercomputer with infinite RAM and storage capabilities. Most of the programming to survive, procreate, and investigate happens during these formative years. The body builds strength and stamina for peak performance. Our soul builds character through exploration. Our mind is a sponge for knowledge which builds intellect. Our hungry spirit engages with truth and builds hope. These are the years that define and refine your temple. This septendecim is the cornerstone to maturity of our intellectual body as well as our physical body. Stage 3, age 34 to 51. The temple expanding transformation years. By the age of 34, we should have found our direction in life. It is these next 17 years that follow that we complete the building of our temple. It is these years that we find ourselves in the peak of our fortitude and ambition, in our learning with our physical disciplines, our career building, and family rearing. We are in the prime of life, so to speak. During this third septendecim, we start to seriously collaborate with the universe, and most likely will have at this point confirmed a relationship, or not, with our divine source, and we start to increasingly develop our spiritual body. If we have had children, they are now in their second septendecim and most likely will leave the nest by the end of it. This provides the parents time again to build, rebuild, or modify their own temple, one that previously was used for procreation, protection, and education of their children. These are the workhorse years that establish the footprint for your legacy. Stage 4. Ages 51 to age 68. These are the ripple-making transformation years. By the time we are 50 years of age, we have made it. We have built our temple. It has been completed by design. If not, you may be experiencing a midlife crisis with a poorly built and/or poorly maintained temple. It is during these next 17 years that we start throwing pebbles from our temple into the pond of exploration. We create those ripples that define our life's task, a task on a spiritual level that we have worked on our whole life with a tacit understanding. It is in these years that we truly discover our purpose, our role in the master plan. It is in these years that if the previous 17 cycles have been negotiated successfully, that we begin to thrive. Insight becomes the go-to for wisdom sourcing. If we have successfully negotiated the prior two septendecim, we soon discover the true purpose for our life. We have honed or fine-tuned our operating system to create new lasting synaptic pathways that were created through the trial and error of our experiences. With ravenous wisdom sourcing, we continue to expand our ripple-making consciousness as we enter the next 17-year period at the age of retirement that people often call the golden years. Stage 5, ages 68 to 85. The golden years and its expanded consciousness transformation. It is in these years that we truly explore our consciousness. We know by now our deficits. We reassess our gifts, our misgivings, our diet, our addictions, our successes, our failures, our relationships, our goals, our losses, gains, and the limits of our aging vehicle. We should be at the peak of prosperity, possibly with grandchildren and even great-grandchildren. At this point, we should have generated and completed our unique tikkun olam, repair for the world, and are enjoying the benefits of non-scheduled employment. Step 6. Ages 85 to 102, shamanic transformation years. If we have successfully built upon each transformational stage of body, mind, soul, and spirit by this time, we will have attained a balanced integration of our temple. We will coast through these years with sincerity, passion, honesty, and transparency. No regrets. At this age, we hear less, see less, eat less, sleep less, procreate less, risk less, and make fewer mistakes. We are the wisdom keepers, shamans for the next generation. If you are fortunate enough to live in America at age 100, you will get a letter from the president with your photo on a jar of Smucker's jelly. At this age, you are respected by all you encounter and considered a shaman, a teacher, a wisdom keeper, a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is one who can reach nirvana, but delays doing so out of compassion for others who suffer. She will live full measure and enter the last septendicum as the ancient one, the wise one, the devotee who has reached kundalini in the physical state, and whose mere presence will help to maintain world balance for 17 more years. It's their job. Without your senior shamans to maintain the balance, the world would be in total chaos. They are the threads woven into the matrix of our world, the living network that holds everything together. Their wisdom and presence connect generations, cultures, and hearts, forming the foundation of our global community. Protecting our elders and passing on ancient knowledge is vital to the survival of our Earth's sociological and physiological balance. If we lose these connections, our truths, our rituals, our wisdom, the very structure of our world unravels, and it is people, not nature, who will bring about the greatest change. Stage 7. Ages 102 to age 119. The Lotus Years, the last transformation. If you have made it this far, you are now collecting the bonus years, the Lotus Years. You will most likely have suffered much loss in your life. Living over 100 years would ensure that. Some of the world's oldest living trees, many thousands of years old, have survived in the most inhospitable place on Earth. Human beings that have lived far into their last septendicum of their lives similarly have survived challenged by inhospitable or meager living conditions. Many have had unsolicited egregious assaults put upon their lives. Just as with the ancient twisted oak who survives and even thrives from the long-term stress that builds strength, character, and resilience in long-term survivorship. Survivors of the Holocaust concentration camps far outlived those who had fled to safe harbor. The most common traits of living centurions are their survivorship record from extreme hardship, coupled with their resilience, adaptability, faith, and a stubborn disposition. They are tough cookies. From roots in murky waters, the lotus arises and opens in purity and awe-inspiring beauty. Whatever the routine that you have adhered to in life has worked well with your genetic and spiritual disposition if you are enjoying this final phase in life. This with a whole lot of work, insight, good diet, clean water, beneficial location, wise choices, enduring friendships, and faith, you have not only survived but have fully thrived. Not reachable by many, but by design it is attainable. You are an icon of hope, a model of perpetuity, a guru of grace, sage of common sense, sensei of servitude, the Atman of attitude, wielder of wisdom, lover of laughter, and a source of inspiration for all you meet. Uncalculatable lives have benefited from the ripples of the pebbles thrown from your temple. The Locust Factor is a blueprint for the life and death of a child of God, one that every human being born to our planet must go through. We are a manifested physical representation of that spark of God which defines life. Out of one we are many, out of many we are one. This spark of God which provides us with life and animation is charged with enough life energy units to successfully reach their fruition of existence by design. I call these LEUs for short, and they supply the spiritual body with enough energy needs to engage the physical body to survive 119 years. These years are composed of 7 different septendicum or 17-year cycles of our life as we prepare to live, accept our task, express it into reality, make a difference and prepare to die once again and return. Just as the locust buries into the ground for 17 years and transformed to its unique role in the universe, so are we transformed. When we return to God, as on earth as it is in heaven, it is a repatriation of the soul. Much as Dante postulated in his Paradiso, we go through 7 different heavens or stages of reunification with God for further celestial experiences, or return to earth for another physical incarnation. All heavens must be traversed before merging back to infinity. Over 100 years of sustainable life on this planet is possible. It is these years which creates the programming for our eventual 7 septendecim periods in heaven, different for everyone. What ye shall sow, so shall ye reap. There is no separation from God. It matters not if you believe in God, or which moniker you may apply to the omniscience that spins the galaxy. This same force spins the electrons within the atoms of your own heart. We are the heartbeat of God. The heart is a physical muscle just as a flexing bicep is. The difference with the heart is that 1/3 of heart cells are unique muscle cells that started beating in harmony in early embryonic development. Eventually, these cells form with other muscle tissue in a syncopated symphony to form the beating heart. This happens around day 17 from the moment of conception. Out of many cells harmonizing, one beat. When these special sets of cells lose their energy, are damaged, or the air supply is cut off, it's game over. Whether our heart stops too early in life or it beats full measure for a century, we shall doff our body like a worn-out bathrobe and slip into the comfort of non-physicality. We acquiesce to the next level of divine expression with awe and longing. Just as a moth circles the flame, we too spiral to the light with joy and abandon. As a species, each one of us is a heart cell of the global collective community that inhabits and has dominion over the earth. This is the heartbeat of our collective existence, the heartbeat of mankind, or heartbeat of God, if you will, but an inexplicable tapestry of human connectedness on a divine and cosmic level. We are a matrix of divine sparks that enervate our planet with life. Out of many, we truly are one. Life on planet Earth is a bifurcated expression of creation that in its creation allowed the manifestation of cognitive air-breathing beings. The heartbeat of the planet is its own developing entity, alive in every way, pulsating, breathing, growing, shedding, changing, aging just as we do. When these two heartbeats are in harmony, we have growth and peaceful coexistence. When these two heartbeats are in conflict, we have disharmony, trauma, and turmoil, planetary and societal. We need to resync our heartbeats with that of each other and that of the planet. Be mindful of each 17-year cycle in your life. Each is a foundational layer of your pyramid, your temple, one being built and completed before the next one begins. Not unlike Maslow's motivational hierarchy of needs that need to be met for one to reach the next level of self-actualization, we build our temple from the ground up. The ancients of your planet all had this knowledge at one time. Their cultures collectively collaborate similar mythologies worldwide. These ancient myths clearly show the respect and adoration that dawning cultures had clearly given to our planet, to the heavens, and to its creator. Civilizations literally built temples to help connect the planet with an energy matrix that was in harmony with itself and the heavens. When we are out of harmony, cataclysm happens. Whole civilizations can atrophy and disappear. The Earth itself loses its necessary microbiota for geologic intestinal fortitude and resilience. When Mother Earth out is of sorts, she gets a fever with chills, night sweats, and cramps. She groans, farts, shudders, and shakes. She needs our help to restore her equilibrium, not only with our active participation in her healthcare, but with our prayer and intention as well. When Mama suffers, we all suffer. Take care of your mother. She provides and nourishes you. Communicate with your father and help him help you. Honor your global siblings. You literally need each other to survive. Find your own repair for the world. Be your tikkun olam. Is it probable to live to be over 100? Probably not, but in the meantime, live as if you were dying and die as if you are going to live. Every earthly moment is an opportunity to serve the greater good, and in doing so ensure a greater reward by design for the next set of 17-year cycles played out in paradise. Paradise, heaven, Valhalla, or Nirvana is not a place of final rest. It's the final frontier of existence. There is no real death per se, only the decay of physical matter and stardust recycling. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust for your physical body. For the soul, it's a journey back to the sun. That celestial journey is the counterpoint or reflection of the 7 physically based earth transformations, only at a higher frequency. If you think about the musical scale of a piano, there are 7 registers on the musical scale, each one vibrating at a higher frequency as you move up the scale. Each register akin to a layer of heaven, like climbing upstairs to heaven with a long pause in each register for 17 years and vibrate at a different octave, each octave escalating to the next frequency over a 17-year period. Each celestial septendecim is formed by the karma of the first physical septendecim. Karma is reaction to the action of our dharma. Right path and wrong path are both dharma. When you participate on either path, the result is your karma, the reaction to your choices. When something feels wrong and you do it anyway, the result of that choice is your karma. If you know the right thing to do and do nothing, this is also your karma. The result of doing nothing creates its own reaction. Doing nothing is action with a reaction as well. We are physics, the results of action and inaction. Inaction is just another form of action giving rise to different reaction. The levels of heaven. Each level of paradise has its own pitch or frequency that breaks down and debrides our soul of our individual nature and the vestiges of earthly ego fulfillment that had driven us while inhabiting the flesh. We are departiculated, so to speak, at higher and higher levels of vibration and return to nano units of Big Bang particulates that are drawn back to the sun for eventual recycle back to Earth as photons. Even your Christian Bible supports this hypothesis with Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Gamma-ray photons oscillate at the highest level of vibration and have the greatest energy akin the compacted life force within a seed or kernel of grain, enough to start life again. These photons that return to Earth eventually become a physical manifestation at a low-frequency radio wave vibration. Whether a human egg or a blade of grass, photons collectively build matter. In a human being, this happens when the nano-frequency of the sperm harmonizes with the nano-frequency of the egg. Each egg has only one song, one unique vibrational footprint. Each sperm has only one song as well, and they must harmonize to fertilize. One egg, possibly several eggs, will meet 300 million sperm at any given time entreating entrance at her chamber door. The fastest swimmer or the most tenacious egg borer does not get the golden ticket. Sperm cell Pavarotti does. Each egg has its own nano-vibration. When the best singer with the correct key entreats entry, his vibration alone opens the egg wall, and Alibaba walks right in and whole process begins once again. Look at the entities' energy that surround us, from electrons to atoms to molecules to bacteria, mice, bird, and bee, etc. All things may be viewed as at least being a little conscious. This sounds strange, but panpsychism is the view that all matter has some associated consciousness, is an increasingly being accepted in your world with respect to the nature of consciousness. It is this foundational philosophy that allows for macro-consciousness to occur as a result from a shared resonance among many micro-conscious elements. The speed or frequency of the resonant waves that are present determines the physicality and size of each conscious entity, and each conscious entity communicates from a micro-community relationship at an unobserved nanoparticle level. When it is observed, we cross into quantum theory that, combined with epigenetic influence, prepares the DNA for survival into the world in which it will be born. Evolution is not genetic random mutations or cosmic mistakes that somehow thrive better. It is the plasticity of resonant DNA to recumbent DNA that ensure the survival of the species. Environmental factors create DNA surface (EPI) markers on the developing eggs in the ovaries of the developing female fetus, while in utero within her mother's womb. Sperm's DNA, on the other hand, has epigenetic markers that are laid down at puberty when the adolescent male starts to produce sperm. This prepares the developing progeny to be better equipped to survive the conditions it is born into by having markers from both parents from the same environment. Survival of the fittest is no accident, it is intentional by genetic adaptational design. The nature of life and death is flip sides of the same coin. We are the polarized alchemy of the universe made flesh. It is all about vibrations, but it's also about the type of vibrations and most importantly about shared vibrations. Recognize your transformations on Earth and harmonize with your vibration. Allow it to synchronize with like vibrations you already feel. Let the good times roll. It ain't over when it's over, not by a long shot. There is a line in the movie August Rush that hits home. You know what music is? God's little reminder that there's something else besides us in this universe. A harmonic connection between all living beings everywhere, even the stars. Music is all around us. All you have to do is listen. When two particles are strongly correlated, they lose their individual quantum states and instead share a single unified state. This unified state is known as quantum entanglement. Physicists have found that if two particles are entangled, meaning their quantum states are strongly correlated and become united, the measurements of one of the particles automatically influence the other. No matter how far away the particles are from each other, they connected simultaneously and instantly, faster than the speed of light. If you would like to see a loosely correlated but tangible demonstration of vibrational entanglement, you can do so. If you place two tuning forks of the same octave next to each other and strike one, the other will start to sing in unison, and we witness the miracle of harmony and synchronization instantly. Throw two pebbles in a pond simultaneously several feet apart. Their ripples will create a predictable interference pattern that governs all of life. Light waves, water waves, heat waves, sound waves all act under the same universal principles of trough and crest, apex and nadir, peak and valley. Life as we know it is the physical representation of that undulation of waves from inception. The wavelengths of our existence broaden as we move through the years, and with each septendecim, we vibrate at a different octave. Our consciousness, our ego, our soul is the median line. Our journey is the troughs and crests. The length of the sound wave defines our septendecim as we move to higher levels of consciousness on Earth and in its reflection, that we call heaven. This is the heartbeat of the universe and a self-sustaining, irrefutable mathematical equation to governs all things big and small. In the same manner that a ballet or tango emerges from the synergy of individual dancers, entanglement arises from the connection between particles. It is what scientists call an emergent property, and what we call synergy, where the sum is greater than the means. And that should about sum it up. Be your locust factor. Recognize your significance. You are more important than no. You are never alone. Dead is not gone. We are forever, each one of us, an important part of the symphony. Cultivate your emergent property, plant seeds, anticipate a harvest, become gratitude and shine by example. When you raise your consciousness, you raise the planets. We need to help Mother Earth and Father God out. They need us more than ever to maintain a nurturing environment for your planet's children whose future may be in serious peril. Each one of us by design are a vastly important cog in the wheel of life. Be your design.